Hi everyone, SpiderMan 1991 here to talk about the comics I got for the week. Alright, only 4 comics to review, so another light week. First of all, Invincible Iron Man number 28. Oh, sorry, my bad, 29. Nothing really big happens in this issue. Once again, it's just about Tony Stark trying to get Stark Resilient off the ground, and and the Hammer Girls continuing their progress with Detroit Steel, now introducing an app to nerds everywhere that is marketed as a video game to let people control little drones to fight alongside Detroit Steel, but is really actually controlling the actual drones. And next up, only other big thing is that now Pepper Potts becomes Rescue again. Although all she does is just fly off, that's it. And apparently Tony's brain damage is worse because he can't remember how to tie a bow tie. And apparently when Tony and Pepper get really close, their repulsor units repel each other, in a sense. And Tony grabs Sasha Hammer and runs off with her in what appears to be one of the cards for the Stark Resilient Expo. Alright, Invincible Iron Man number 29. This is just pretty much a slow, dull read. Nothing really big happens except for Pepper getting on her armor, and even that's short-lived. Ultimate Spider-Man number 13. Alright. All we get here is the Chameleon using Peter's Spider-Man costume and web shooters to run his own crime spree, and of course Chameleon's thinking that Peter's stupid for not trying to market the web shooters. I mean, it's kind of like he's like, okay, this kid's smart for building this, but he's stupid for not marketing it. And Peter and Jonah Jameson are tied up, and then all of a sudden Jameson realizes Peter's secret, and Peter tells him not to say anything out loud because they might be monitored. And while Chameleon is going on a Spidey crime scene, the woman Chameleon's been talking to is his sister, and she has his powers as well, and she shoots Jonah in the head. And now, back at the Parker household, May, Bobby, Gwen, and Johnny realize what's going on, so May tells Johnny and Bobby to power up and find Peter and take down the imposter. Okay. Nothing really big here, except despite the popular belief, Spidey does not actually use a shotgun. I mean, Chameleon does not use a shotgun, but... Alright, apparently Jonah's shot in the head, but from the looks of it, it looks like he was just knocked out. Or possibly. But this was just pretty much a typical average read. It felt like nothing big happened. Can't wait for next issue, though, when Human Torch and Iceman have to take on Chameleon and Spider-Man. Now then, back to DC... Adventure Comics 517. Alright, we get the first mission with the Legion. We get the Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, and Cosmic Boy's first mission as Legionnaires, as seen here where they use their flight belts. So far the premise of the story is that Saturn Girl doesn't feel like she's contributing enough to the team. And the next morning after their mission, she wakes up in bed with Cosmic Boy. So she erases it from his mind, vowing to better herself, and then Brainiac 5. In the end, Brainiac 5 tells them that their time bubble is ready to go back to the 21st century to meet Superboy. Another cool thing about this comic is the Adam co-feature, which is very interesting because now Ray Palmer has taken the calculator with him, and he's off fighting germs, and we get a little more insight to Ray's Uncle Dave. And when Ray brings the calculator back, calculator just says that the only people who hired him were the colony and that they've never heard of him. Meanwhile, Ray's friend Professor Hyatt gets attacked by apparently the Covenant, who wear the same logo on the ring as Ray's uncle from his childhood. Alright. Overall, I have to say that the Adam feature was way better for me than the main Legion story, alright? The Adam story is just getting really more is really more getting heated up as we get closer to figure out the connection between Ray's uncle and this organization that's robbed him of his greatest work. And the Legion feature with the Saturn Girl was just kind of dull for me. Alright, now moving on. Superman 702. Continuing grounded, Superman is now in Detroit. And after helping a young man look good in front of his peers, Superman finds an alien colony that's been hidden in Detroit, whose only wish to stay here is for survival. But Superman tells them to ask them to contribute something back to Earth so they could earn their keep or something. And while Superman continues his walk, he meets an old security guard from a factory. And while after letting him see him fly for the first time, the man apparently has a heart attack or something, and then Superman takes him to the aliens and asks them to heal him, which they do, and eventually makes Superman give them the idea to open up their own medical facilities in Detroit. And posing as Clark Kent, he goes in to get an article to turn into the Daily Planet, since Clark Kent has to do something. And while he's talking to Lois, she reminds him to be careful and that he doesn't know who he could run into on the road. I like this teaser. This is a very good teaser with Batman being here. I'm pretty sure that this is Bruce Wayne and not Dick Grayson, but it would be great if they do meet up again while Superman's on his walk. Okay, but for this part of the grounded story, I thought the aliens were a bit... It just seemed unnecessary, okay? It doesn't really stick to the premise that Superman's supposed to be on Earth, and I figured if he's going to stay on Earth, he'd be actually helping people, not helping aliens adapt to Earth life. It just doesn't really seem, like that, but... Still, I'm enjoying Grounded. It's a very good story with Superman trying to reconnect with people, and the Batman teaser at the end really has me interested in that and continuing this story. Okay? Now, that's all I have for this week. SpiderMan 1991 saying, see you later.